You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Chrissie, and joining me is my co-host, Thad. Thad, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. Just taking a drink from the nearest pond water, and it's pretty good.
Well, I suppose that's better than just randomly picking up a cup and drinking out of that.
Is it?
Maybe? Maybe? All right. Well, also joining us today is Abby Sommer of the First Flight podcast. Abby, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. I love talking with you guys, and I'm glad to be back for episode 2 on this doubleheader. And, perhaps in the break, I let my little piggies out to get some air.
Okay, so I hate that. I hate that so much. Like, it's one thing, like lounging in a chair with no shoes, sure, but just like walking through public spaces in bare feet, nope.
I mean, how dirty is a starship gonna get?
I don't care. I am 100% with the War College guy on that one.
The ship cleans itself.
I guess I've known a couple people who are staunch barefooters whenever possible, and they go out in the snow. They go out everywhere. Like, yeah.
Snow?
They get some thick old calluses. And I mean, briefly, not deep snow, but like to walk to the mailbox and back or whatever. Yeah. So, hey, more power to you. I enjoy having, and you know what? She's got cute feet and obviously goes for the pedicures. So go for it.
There's a person who often goes on the Star Trek cruise who is barefoot the entire week, including in public restrooms, and it grosses me out so much.
Yeah, public restrooms is a no.
Yeah, no, I
mean, I'll barefoot in my own restroom.
Well, yeah,
my own bathroom.
Yes.
One
I mean, obviously.
Are you wearing shoes in the shower? I mean, is this college?
Do you live in a dorm? Yeah.
But even if I'm not using it for bathing, I will still be barefoot in my own bathroom because it's my own bathroom. But yeah.
Yeah. I will wander around like out to my yard. That's as far out, mailbox in the summer when it's warm only.
I mean, I used to do that. But as I age, I now need constant arch support. So I wear slippers all the time.
Yeah, I could see that.
As someone who's had her knee rebuilt multiple times, I am also always usually in slippers. But I like my toes to be out and free whenever possible. Because, I live where it's cold. So if it's warm enough for me to not wear socks, I'm going to do it.
That's important. Anyway, so on that note, before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make this show possible, particularly our associate producer, Carl Wonders. Listeners, you can hear your name listed here as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10, and your subscription of any amount at patreon.com/BQN keeps all of the shows on the network ad-free. Well, we haven't had any news in the last 2 hours since we recorded the last news.
I don't know. I actually haven't checked. We might.
Well, I didn't.
If it did, you'll have to hear about that next week. This is going to be a more regular drop for you guys, right? So.
No. I feel like if anybody, like any of the big names had died, I would have gotten like a New York Times notification.
Someone would have texted me.
Someone would have told us. So
multiple someones would have texted me.
If William Shatner kicked the bucket, I would have gotten a text.
Yes.
He's not going till this year is over. Are you kidding? He's got some sort of deal with the universe to make it through the 60th.
Deal with, okay. Anyway.
He turns 95 this year.
I saw him in Chicago just at the end of November, and it was a trip. Like, we all got to have lunch with him because he ate sushi on stage while he talked to us, and he didn't talk about anything that anybody asked him in the questions, but he talked about a lot of stuff, and it was coherent. And I mean, the man has a lot of life left in him, so maybe he'll be 105 and be around for the 70th.
Yeah.
It's
It
pretty
wouldn't
much
surprise me.
It's
No.
pretty much standard for a William Shatner Q&A for him not to talk about anything that
Oh,
anyone asks
no.
him about.
Nothing. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
That generation is all or nothing. I mean, look at Mel Brooks.
Yeah,
Same.
that's
He's only
very
4
true.
years older than him than Shatner, and like they looked like they were 60 when they were 40.
Yeah.
Or and they continued to look like they were 60 until they were 100. So it's just that's what
Mel
World War
Brooks
II does
looks
to you.
older than 60.
No, I know.
Well.
I'm being a little facetious. Yes, that's usually not how I say it. I usually say they look like they're 60 when they're 40, or they look like they're 40 until they're 80. Whatever. Anyway. Cut that
Mel
out.
Brooks, at this point in his life, Mel Brooks does look his age.
And you know what? When I'm in my 90s, I want to look 92.
But he's sticking around at least until Spaceballs 2 comes out.
Yeah, I hope so. Oh, I need him to hit 100.
Can you imagine that party?
Yeah.
Mel Brooks' 100th birthday party would be epic. Okay. Anyways.
So, right. So with no news, watch there be something huge that happens between now and
My
Tuesday.
God.
They just
Right,
announced
so-
a brand new series.
Right. Yeah. Star Trek 4 from the Kelvin timeline was announced.
jeez.
With actual filming has begun.
Star Trek 4 for the Kelvin timeline has been secretly filmed for the past year and is coming out next month.
There we go. And all
Perfect.
the stars are starting the marketing blitz right now.
Perfect. Timed it Sunday night, right before the new Game of Thrones show starts. so that it
Enterprise
distracts
Season
everyone.
5 begins in June.
Fully animated, full cast back.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we have episode 2 of Starfleet Academy, which has the title Beta Test.
I don't know if it's quite ready.
That's a great title. That was good.
Well, we won't know until we're done with it.
But it's such a good title.
So Abby, initial thoughts.
Oh, I liked this one. I think someone was asking me which one is better. And at first I thought I liked the premiere better. And then I thought I liked this one better. And now I think that the more that I watch this one, I can't choose because I think I like them both. But it does almost feel like this should have been a two-parter because this is where we finally get the rest of the cast, right? We get the rest of the teachers, we get the rest of the young people, whether or not they're cadets or visitor, whatever. This feels like now it's a complete whole. And the visuals in this were amazing. And we're going to talk about some of the fashion when we get there because that was right up my alley. And I might have shrieked a couple times going, oh my God, this is just like blank. So I'm excited to talk about that. And I really like these cadets even more. I like these adults even more after this one. So this was a great second episode. And I think anyone who wasn't sold after one would probably be after this one because it's very different, yet very much the same. And it's another flavor of this cast. So you see that it isn't going to be all just one note. It isn't going to be all like this. And it's not one big story. Yes, there are continuing elements that are very important, but you could have dropped into this and been just fine. And I think that's a bridge that's been hard to straddle for a lot of Trek series. And I think it's what a lot of people were looking for. So bravo. This is a great second episode.
Yeah. That?
Mostly just what Abby said.
See, look at that. Why do you let me go first? I take all the words.
No, I love this episode. It's good. I personally, I think I like the premiere a little more. But I did really enjoy this one.
Yeah, I did too. We mentioned briefly about the whole the speech that she has in this one is better than the previous one. I have always been. I mean, and this is right at the beginning of the episode, so I might as well start with that. She gives that inspirational speech on the first day of classes, and I love all of it except make your bed. For some reason, that has always, and it's not that I don't. I mean, a lot of time I don't, whatever. But
I never do.
That has always like rankled me, whatever
do.
the word is that I'm looking for. It's like, okay, of all the things in my life, I understand that that's supposed to like, set your day up for success because you're orderly
I'm sure
and
that works
thinking
for
all
some
that.
people.
Yeah, but it doesn't work for me. And then I found out like for people with allergies, it's better not to. It's better to leave it open. For some reason, that has always like rankled me, whatever the word is that I'm looking for. Of all the things in my life, I understand that that's supposed to like, set your day up for success because you're orderly and thinking all that. Yeah, but it doesn't work for me. And then I found out like for people with allergies, it's better not to. because then, any
Hmm.
sweat or any dust mites go away. And it's just so, yeah, all of that except make your bed. It's great.
Well, I like to make my bed because I like to get into a bed that doesn't
Ah,
have wrinkles because I don't like laying on wrinkles. I like it to
yep.
be smooth, but it's also really not that important to me. But you're right, that speech, and I think one of the things that a New Year's resolution I made years ago was to do little things and tell people little
Yes.
things that I'm thinking that are positive about them and that make them happy because it helps. Like it makes a big difference sometimes in people's days, strangers, people you know, and she's talking about that.
Yes.
Little things. The little things matter. And not making your bed aside, but all showing up on time,
Mm-hmm.
being present, being positive, having an open mind, just those little things and
Mm-hmm.
verbalizing it. It's one more stitch in the quilt of who you are and how you are, and it helps you to just kind of appreciate the little things, and because they are important and people do notice whether or not they verbalize it, and it can be really easy to make a day better by doing a little thing. And I love that that's the lesson that we
Yeah.
start off this episode
It made
with.
me think of there's a web cartoon called Learner Baboon. Have you ever seen this? Oh, you'd love it. Okay,
Mm-mm.
it's great. It's the one that I'm thinking of is this guy and his son. They're standing at a um, at a stoplight, and there's a guy in a kind of goofy looking hat standing by them, and the father leans over to the son and says, um, "Watch, I can do magic." And he tells the guy, he says, "That's a really great hat, and you're really great for wearing it." And the guy's face just lights up, and he's all happy, and he says, "See, I do magic," and it just, yeah, I love that. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Well, this all stemmed I made this resolution years ago because I was walking. I had at the time a great big
Hmm.
white Great Dane, like 150-pound dog. And I would walk her, and people would always be like, "Oh, who's walking who? Oh, is that a horse? Do you need a saddle?" Blah, blah, blah. Or they would say, "Beautiful dog." And I would be like, "Oh, thanks," or ah, ha, ha, ha. And one day, and I was having a terrible day, it was in a low point of my life in general. This woman walked up and she went, "Oh, beautiful dog." And before I could say thank you, she went,
Aw.
"And you're beautiful too."
Oh,
Changed my
yeah.
entire day. My entire day, and I have never forgotten that woman, and she probably didn't remember that interaction 2 minutes later, but it changed my day, it changed my attitude, and it made me think about how I wanna be that
Hmm.
person for other people. So, yeah, those little things like that, and just validating people and seeing people and their choices and being positive about it can
Yeah.
make such a
Yeah.
difference. Yeah. Thanks, Star Trek, for putting that on display on my screen too.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so we have the inspirational speech, which is great, and then we see some of our classes. The doctor gives out bottles of goo to the students in xenobiology, reminiscent of when we all had to carry babies around in
That's what
like
I was
what
thinking
middle
of.
school.
Or
Yeah.
did you have to carry eggs around too? I
Eggs.
had to do the eggs. I
Yeah,
lost
we had eggs.
my egg. I lost my egg in a tragic accident.
We also did bags of
Yeah.
flour one time because they were more heavy, so you felt the weight
Did
of
you have
what a baby
did you
would be
guys have
like
the
more.
animatronic babies that could tell if you shook them?
My sister did. Yeah,
Yeah, we had to do
that was
that. We did
crazy.
those once for home ec, and like you could tell if you mistreated it, and you had to cradle it or feed it within a certain period, or you get
Mm-hmm.
time of when it started making noise. You got marked down. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And my school district didn't have money for babies that made sound. we they bought bulk flour and eggs,
but
so
no, I did have to
just
do the
saying.
eggs for sociology class, I think, and I lost my egg actually on day one, unfortunately. But thankfully, unlike in this class, if you lost your egg, it didn't affect your grade. You just
Yeah.
felt bad about killing your child.
I didn't have to do that in school, but like I went to Catholic school, and see, my sister, by the time you get to that, she was not in Catholic school anymore. She was in public school, so they had the whole thing. But I just got, the don't have sex speeches. That was it. It was
Mm.
just, Catholic school. Um, so yeah, so they get the goo,
I mean, I
and
was in
which,
public school, and I still got the don't have sex speeches.
I mean,
That's because it was when it was
maybe.
in the timeline.
Yeah.
Because I only went to the Baptist school through 6th grade, and that was public after that. And yeah, we got there was a group that came in and like had a whole presentation on our health class about how it's important to keep your purity and
Oh,
blah blah
God.
blah blah blah.
Ugh, okay. Anyway, I hope they don't teach that at Starfleet Academy. Anyway,
I doubt they teach that at
don't
Starfleet
think-
Academy.
no,
I mean, they
no, they
rarely
have-
teach that at college anywhere.
no.
Well, okay, not. I'm sure there are some colleges where
Yeah.
they do. They probably
rarely.
do teach that at Liberty University. But
Yeah, Liberty University has some really interesting rules that I've read about as regards fraternization, but yeah, I want to make a Will Riker joke here, but I can't think of it. So speaking of college level sex ed, the xenomythology professor reminds Caleb and Darren that there are societies that send their hormonal young men out into the woods to see if they'll survive. He doesn't quite say it that way, but I'm adding in the rest.
Well, and how cool that xenomythology is a
I
class.
want that.
And that they were talking
I want to
about,
go to a
like, I was-
xenomythology
Yeah,
class.
I was talking to Chris about this. Yeah. And how cool that they specifically said that it's something that they had to restart post-burn because they're expanding their minds. They're changing how they're thinking about things. We're not isolationist, protectionists anymore. We're looking outward. Like, what a beautiful message. And to see that in that whole rotation.
And I love seeing
amazing.
it right ahead of the tactical training that makes it really feel like Starfleet is a military organization again. I know it's not, but
Mm-hmm.
the way she's shouting at them sure as hell feels military to me.
Well, and I heard her say in interviews, Gina Yashiri, that she got away with ad-libbing more than most
Really?
people ever do on a Star Trek set, which is usually dead letter perfect. But because she was so funny, and this has a slightly different tone than other Trek, that she did get to ad-lib some things, or a lot. She said a lot of her responses to things were something she figured they'd just cut if they didn't like it, and they didn't cut them all. So I always wonder if her line there about "I can always spot the runner" was one of those things that she just threw in there, and they just left it because it was hilarious.
And that was in Boothby Memorial Park, by the way.
Yes, it was.
Which is so sweet.
I love that.
It's so sweet. I like all the little places that we're seeing that are named after other characters. Like, that's just, again, it's one of those things that you can, if you know it, it makes you happy. And if you don't know it, then you either pick up on it's a story I could find out more about, or you just, it's the name of the place. So, yeah, it's very fun.
We find out that the Starfleet cadets are training alongside those of the War College, which is an interesting choice. But I guess I see it as eventually integrating the War College into the Academy. That's me. I'm sure they're not thinking that way after we've met the guy who's in charge of it. So.
Okay, but I have to say, he might be super wound tight, but you don't get any feeling of like menace or nastiness or bad guy from him. He's just super prim and proper, which is a really nice distinction. Like, the kids are going to be nemesis, right? They're going to have a school rivalry. This is that type of show. This is the trope that we're setting up right here. Like, we know this. This was coming. No big deal. Like, fine. It's a good way to start some stories. But I love that he's not a jerk. He's just a different type of leader for a different type of school. And I think that's really important, because if he had been a complete jerk with, bad intentions and all that, it would have colored the relationships and been too much. Like, we don't need a villain here. We've already got a good villain. This is just somebody who's a different parent. And it goes right along with that theme of opening your mind to thinking and acting differently, and to people whose viewpoints are different than yours. And we're seeing that in the adults and the kids. And that's really cool.
He's very reminiscent of like a Victorian era British soldier. That ideal of the stiff upper lip and all that, and everything must be quite so, We get more of the generational theme that I talked about with the last episode. I think we really have, it's really getting pushed with this. Again, maybe I'm just feeling that with my historian brain. I don't know. We'll see as we go forward.
Well, the whole activism, I love it, about the youth was pretty.
Yes, I've got, almost to that. And then we have the start of a joke that's going to be running throughout the season of Specialist Krebs being called to deal with his Telexian fur fly. Yeah, which I love. So if you didn't, yeah.
Well, and I heard somebody, I think it was Laurie Ulster from Trek Movie, saying that she asked somebody at the premiere red carpet a question about this, and they had to go check with the higher ups if they were allowed to talk about it, and then they weren't. So I have a feeling So I have a feeling this is going to be a much bigger plot point than we expected.
All right. See, I thought it was just I thought it was just going to be a running joke.
Unless they're completely throwing us off track, which is also possible, but unlikely. Like if someone comes up to you at the premiere and you're the person who can give the yes or no on this, that you would say no to something that was not that important. So yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes.
We're gonna see it at the last episode. It's gonna be just like in the background.
They're gonna have to fight the Telexian fur fly. It's gonna be like
kaiju or something.
Yeah.
It's gonna be what finally defeats Paul Giamatti. Braca.
Yeah. Braca. Yeah.
It's gonna look like Mothra.
He's allergic to the fur of the fur fly.
All right, and then we have our first look at the opening sequence. Now, I think this was really our first look. They didn't publish it ahead of time like they have with some of the other ones. Yeah.
They have since, but they did not.
It also was not present in the first episode, which was interesting.
True. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? You guys have a better ear for music than I do, so I'm just gonna.
I find the music to be thoroughly forgettable and mediocre.
Same. Okay.
So, okay, I like the visuals
me too.
a lot. I like the seed coming up. Beautiful. I like the cherry blossoms. I like the montage. It reminds me a lot of like the Enterprise beginning where you see like the real people and all that. I think it's beautiful. I think I have listened to this theme tune a lot because I have the soundtrack now too. I still can't hum it. And that's a problem because I am a person who hums Star Trek theme songs. And I think it sounds a little bit like the Picard theme. It sounds a little bit like some of the character themes from Discovery. It sounds a little bit like a few of the cues in Prodigy, which, okay, great. I love the idea of bringing other things into it, but not for your theme. And it makes it feel muddy. The theme I wish they played was the end credits music. The end credits music runs through my head all the time. The end credits music is probably going to be the first cut off of that album to make my Trek favorites playlist. The end credits music is the one that I'm like humming to in the shower, and it's got the mix of the like traditional instruments and the more electronic instruments, which I think is really good for this show because the music does a ton of work in this show, and I like it. I like the more modern. I like Jeff Russo bringing new things in, but man, I wish they had flipped the themes again. The end should be the beginning should be the end, and then I would be happy. But you know,
the end credits music is also good. But do you know what I've been humming for the past all weekend is San Francisco.
Yeah.
San Francisco. Well, of course.
And someone on Blue Sky actually cut that, put the San Francisco music all over the credits, and it works really well. Like, I think it would have been cool
bet that
if
would
we
be expensive.
Sure. But it would be cool if we had gotten the second Star Trek series with a song for the credits.
I feel like that we're never going to get that again because there was it was so divisive.
It's still a touch point right now.
I mean,
it's like root beer in the Federation. I didn't like it at first, but it's insidious and it grew on me. And now you can't take Faith of the Heart.
You know what? You're right, because I didn't like it at first either. I was very frustrated with it, but now I love it. So
I never disliked it. I have to say I like season 1 and 2 of Enterprise, the more mellow without the bass line version better. But if you're rocking out in the car with the windows down, like sometimes my girls and I will rock out to Faith of the Heart, but you have to use the bass version when you're doing that then.
So that's originally, yes. And then like back in the day, I was like, oh no, they made it even worse when season 3 came out. But today, I actually prefer the bop of the the third and fourth season version now.
Yeah.
Sorry, as long as you have Faith of the Heart.
Of course.
Yes,
really
that
matters.
is the most important thing.
I can do
the
anything.
Song is secondary. We're not going to keep going because that will add 5 minutes to this pod. But yes.
So then we come back and they've got room assignments. Now, Was
We all
anybody
saw
else
this coming.
troubled by the fact that they've been on this ship for I don't know how many days and they're just now getting their room assignments?
Yeah.
Where were
Right,
they
okay.
before? Yeah, that is an excellent.
Thank you. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who thought that. Because surely this is not the same day as everything they just did in the last episode.
Well, you wouldn't have gone to class already if you didn't have a
Right.
place to put
And
your
take a
stuff.
shower.
'Cause,
You'd
like,
think.
we know Caleb
Yeah.
doesn't have any stuff, but yeah, exactly. The only thing
Where
I
did
could think
Jaden
of
put his
was that
binoculars?
exactly. Where did Darum put all his trophies before
Yeah.
they were up on the shelf,
Mhm.
right? Like, but the only thing I could think, and somebody on Blue Sky was saying this, like maybe because this was new and they were doing all these final tests and sorting them into places that they got
Yeah.
temporary rooms, and then they were getting their final room assignments once they saw like personalities or divisions
That
or
makes sense.
whatever. And that's great, but it would have taken this show is really good about explaining stuff really quickly with like
Mhm.
one line of dialogue, and then you're just like, oh, okay, the doctor's old now, great, fantastic. Like the million examples of that, it would have taken one line of dialogue to explain that, because I thought the
Yeah.
same thing.
Oh, they're moving us out of the dormitory style where there's 50 of us in a
Right.
room and into actual rooms or something. Yeah.
Well, it would have been even better then that we got Caleb and Darum in the same room if like some algorithm had put them there on purpose after
Oh,
watching
yeah.
them for like a week or so or
Yeah.
whatever, right? Like trying to coordinate class schedules and like personalities or whatever. And then they open the door and there they are and they're like, wait, what? What did we do that made them think that this was going to be a good idea?
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Caleb was going, I got to go
Yep.
hack that algorithm.
Yep. So yeah, so I mean, I definitely saw them having to share a room coming. Fine. I thought it was funny for a moment. We might have had co-ed rooms, which would be very Star Trek and very progressive and whatever. But
Lower
fine.
decks, they all sleep in the hallway together.
That's true.
They all shower
That's
together.
where they were before they got the rooms.
Yes, they were in the hallway.
There we go.
bunks.
They were in the
There we
hallway.
go.
Okay. But yeah, but I was distracted by where have they been sleeping since? But yeah. So we have that, and that's to be expected. Then we find out that the Federation is trying to figure out where they're going to put their new capital, and the Academy is hosting a delegation of Betazoids. And here's something that I didn't know. I wouldn't have known unless I had the closed captions on. That little exocomp in the turbolift is called
Yes.
Almond Basket.
I know, isn't it perfect?
So even
Mhm.
better, it's
The same,
voiced
yep.
by Heather Donahue.
Oh,
It was the same voice as
I
Peanut
thought it
Hamper.
sounded the same. I wasn't sure though. Oh.
But I also love that where like where Almond Basket
Yep.
keeps trying to sit down,
Yes.
Yep.
and they keep moving. It's like okay, it's like wow.
It was a wonderful, wonderful little scene. And if you look in
Beautiful.
the credits, Almond Basket is also credited there by name.
Okay, cool.
But you wouldn't have known like who was Almond Basket if you hadn't seen that yet. So it's so funny. It's so funny. And I love that whole scene too with the doctor just being the doctor about vanilla mucus.
Oh my God.
And then Ake finally going, I would give just about anything to end this conversation. Like,
Yeah.
again, the amount of character development we get from the three, more major players in here, not the exocomp, sorry, Almond, but is in just a few lines back and forth and how they respond to everything. It's really great. And I like turbolift benches. Sorry for all of you out there. Do we see how big this school is? Maybe some people do want to sit down and get something done.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I'm sure they could just transport to wherever they want to go to, but
Well, but
I
that takes more energy.
yeah.
I just yeah. I like the
No,
big turbolift
I also
benches.
like
Yeah.
the idea of the turbolift
Yeah.
benches.
How big is that ship? I mean,
Big.
You might have a 5-minute.
Right. It's
and
like
maybe you
riding
want to sit down.
the monorail at Disneyland, right? Or Disney World. Like some people stand and some people sit, and you just give people options because it might be a long ride with multiple stops along the way.
Have you noticed have you seen the disabled people in the background? There's been at least one wheelchair I've seen, which this is a very different feel from 90s Trek, and particularly like Next Gen and Voyager, where the assumption was we fix to what we deem able-bodied.
Yep.
And I think the seats in the turbolift are indicative of that kind of thought process.
And there's multiple people with glasses as well.
Says all of us who are wearing them right now.
Retinox 5 allergy.
Yeah, exactly.
That Retinox 5 allergy is a bugger,
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked that a lot. That was good. So.
Well, I mean, even today, like I know a lot of. I mean, I know many people who prefer to wear contacts to glasses, but I much prefer to wear glasses.
I have never had contacts. Don't want them.
I don't like putting things in my eyes. But beyond that, you can get the blue light filters. You have the UV filter. There's more things you can do with glasses that just enhance your overall viewing experience.
As we talk,
you do have to constantly clean
but there's
them,
less dust in space, right? Because it's a closed system. And we did talk about how shiny the bridge is, right, and that would like reduce the glare if you're wearing glasses with like shine blockers. There we go.
I
would. I mean, other than the fact that they help me see better, I would basically never drive at night if I wasn't wearing my glasses that are reducing the glare.
Yeah. I had. For a while, they made contacts that had the blue blocker in them.
Ooh.
They actually were transitions. I had those for a year, and then they quit making them, and I don't know why. They probably gave people cancer or something, but I loved them. And but yeah, if I'm going out and I might need sunglasses, I like my contacts, but peripheral vision is a nice thing. But like if I'm not going anywhere, or if it's cloudy out, yeah.
Well, I mean that my glasses are transitions. So
that's true. Well, but that doesn't work with your driving.
And then I have
forth.
Yeah.
That's why I have a pair of prescription sunglasses in my car.
I have prescription sunglasses with me at all times. We are old nerds here, aren't we?
I mean, I just leave them in the car because that's the only time I need them. Otherwise, these will actually transition.
Anyway, so Betazoid leaving the Federation was tough. I'm sure they had all sorts of places where you need glasses. I love Ake's book collection, by the way, since we're talking about glasses. If anybody didn't think I was going to comment on that, I'll start now and pick it up in other episodes where we see more of it, I'm sure. But
I can't wait for the deep dive onto all the old relics on her shelf, too, because like every time you get a shot of it, you see something a little different, and there's a lot of cool stuff in there. And I like that her being half Lanthanite gives her all of those memories of the time of Starfleet before the burn. What a cool way to put a connection in there. And, the Doctor has that too. So I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of that coming back. I remember what Starfleet was. I remember when Beta Z was part of, like, and that she can pull those things. Later on, she says, talks about when she was living on Beta Z. And like, that is a really cool way to set up the person who's in charge of your school to have this connective tissue to be able to do a lot with the story. So good job, writers.
Yep. So this is where we find out, there's a scene with Caleb and Darum in the office, and they're yelling at each other. And then we find out that Darum has a banana allergy, which just makes me happy because I run into so few people with banana allergies like me, and we exist. It's okay.
Sorry.
I'll survive. I have survived. I don't know.
That scene is hilarious, though. I'm sorry again about your banana allergy, but that's a great scene. It's so back and forth. And then when they're talking about, do you think he was funny? And they look over at Thok and she goes, "Is this multiple choice?" Like it's the dialogue is witty, it's snappy, it's smart. And then at the end, when he dismisses himself, when Caleb dismisses himself, she's like, "You can't dismiss yourself." And he goes, "I just did though." Like that's the way they weave the humor into this the right way, and it feels really authentic and in character. And I love that they're still playing that whole Ake and Caleb dynamic as they're more equal in some ways than others, even though she's in charge of him, but he's got some leeway going on and he's not afraid to use it. And I think that's important. Like he didn't drop that because he's got a haircut.
He calls her by her first name sometimes, which drives me crazy in that context. I just So the Betazoid's youth delegation has pushed the planetary government to try to get back into the Federation, or at least open talks to the Federation. And this is where we get that.
Yes, because since the burn, they've been cut off. They've cut themselves off from the rest of the universe behind a psionic wall that keeps everyone out.
That's kind of nuts.
Which is an interesting detail.
It is.
Yeah.
Do you think it's visual or just all mental? Like, I really would like to know more details.
I wonder if it's like the one in Talos.
Yeah.
when you run into it, you see something that pushes you away from it.
Yeah, that's
But
entirely possible too.
I also want to know how many people are having to focus on that to
Uh-huh.
make it happen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So this is another place where, like in the previous episode, I feel like this is really on the nose. Like, oh, young people, go fix things. Which, well, I don't disagree. So then we move to meeting Commander Kelrick of the War College. And this is when we get the whole thing of Ake running around barefoot.
Yep.
And randomly drinking stuff out of a cup that was on a table. Which, the look he gives her when she does that.
Which does bother me even more than the
yes,
barefoot.
me too. Me too. Yeah. 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 So what do we think of Kelrick? I mean, we already talked a little bit about how he's very proper, I guess is a good word for it.
Yeah, I like him. Because he's I think he'll be a decent sort of foil for Ake.
Yeah.
I think it's it's a nice dynamic to show two different people in similar roles and situations with different responses. And they obviously poke at each other and needle each other on purpose all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have respect for each other. You can see that from the beginning and as it goes on too. Like, they'll question each other and they're going to really not enjoy some of the other people's choices, but at the same time there's a level of respect there, and I appreciate that, because it could have easily become just an antagonistic relationship, and it's not.
Yeah, I agree. So he doesn't like the fact that Ake has basically decided to make the negotiations with the Betazoids open like a class. And Vance agrees with Ake. So that's what happens. She gives the thing that children are ambassadors now.
He's doing such a good job.
We've seen more of him already than I was expecting to. And we've yet to see Tilly. So we'll see. But
well, he is part of the main cast per the credits.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I guess I wasn't I was thinking going into it that he wasn't, but
it still bothers me that the holograms flicker like when he calls in, but that's okay.
You also shouldn't be able to overload a hologram by asking it too many things.
No, you shouldn't. But maybe I will retcon that to say that they have specifically capped the capacity of the holograms at a certain point so that they cannot reach sentience. And so maybe that means their processing power is a little bit lower.
I think that's a thread that I would like more on too.
There's some not great implications of that too.
Well, yeah, I mean, because they're...
I don't know that we want to go down that hole.
We established that artificial life forms are people, and yet we still have all of these holograms running around that... Well, maybe they have their own holographic culture that we don't know about. So, I mean, we know Sam's coming from a holographic culture.
Photonics, they prefer.
Photonic.
That was culture, beautiful, though. Just that little bit of correction there with the doctor. It was very cool.
So, yeah, And then this is where we find out that the Venari Rahl had been a problem for Beta Z 100 years ago. So this is a pirate group or something. I'm sure we'll find out more specifics.
Yeah. Well, and I like that we have a callback here and we have connection to the wider world, but it is not the focus of this episode. It's just another crumb, another step on that path. And we're going to focus on other things and how that part impacts what's going on here. So it's very world building to hear those connections like that.
Yeah. And then we come to Jet Reno teaching quantum mechanics, and I think this is the most of an ass that Caleb has made of himself.
Yeah, for sure.
To say to somebody who has traveled in time, there's nothing you can teach me about temporal mechanics.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Wait, what? Well, also, why does he even, what about Caleb's background that we know so far would imply that he knows anything about temporal mechanics?
Right. I actually had to rewind that, because I wasn't sure if he said temporal mechanics or did he say warp mechanics or something? Because I said, okay, well, he knows his way around computer systems. Maybe he knows his way around an engine. and he's being cocky, but like, what has he been doing in time?
He was just being a jerk.
Yeah, because like,
yeah, he was.
Because I think we can safely assume this is the first time he's been in any sort
Mm-hmm.
of formal education setting.
Absolutely.
So like, and temporal mechanics feels like something
Pick
that you
up
don't
on.
just like
Yeah.
It is not self-taught.
learn.
No.
Because the mistakes there
you don't
tend
just
to be a bit
absorb.
dramatic and impactful.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't be there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just, again, showing that when he's called out, I mean, she sits down right next to him and starts going at him with her sarcastic style. When he feels called out, he automatically resorts back to acting like a jerk and, acting tough and being the alpha. And that is such a common response that and it's very in character with him, So I think it was well done. He was annoying as all get out in that scene, but that's exactly what he was supposed to be. So, and again, we find out about Goja 5, Goja 5, Goja 5. We're going to hear that a bunch of times. Don't forget, it's Goja 5.
Yep.
Also, why is he constantly searching for Goja 5 in the same computer that already told him it's not there?
Yeah, that bothers me too. Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
And
focus.
Why would he have the sound turned on his pad during the class?
Plot.
Because he doesn't know how to use Starfleet equipment, and he's...
I mean, Chrissie, is this a thing? Do you have students that are doing stuff on their electronic devices that are making sound during your class?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Sorry,
not...
I just assume that people are not idiots.
That's a big assumption.
That's a big assumption.
Fair.
No, I mean, usually not. The most egregious, I had a kid last semester who was watching, Netflix on his phone, and it was like loud enough for me to hear.
Did you hear the dun-dun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sonic branding. It works.
And so it was just, and I called him out on it, and he tried to say it was the kid next to him, and the kid next to him was like, no, whatever. But no, usually they're not stupid about it, but he doesn't know how to be anything other than authentic, I think. And because he's probably had to hide himself, and he's been imprisoned a number of times, but like something like that, it's not going to occur to him that anybody's going to care he's looking at a pad,
So it's the same mindset as all those people that watch videos without headphones on the subway.
Yeah.
And the skills he's honed to survive and to be okay and are going to make him have to, puff himself up, act tough, be more dominant. That's not the set of skills that he needs to be in a school. And he's taking him time to realize that. I mean, even the first episode when he told Sam that he always works alone, and they're like, no, she's way faster than you are because she can talk to the computer. Like that kind of stuff. He has to learn that because he's never had that before. And that's why I always say I teach littles, and school is as much learning how to be a person in the world as it is academics. Yes. And that's exactly what he's learning here. He might have the academics down pretty well already because of how smart he is, but he needs to learn the rest of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, Reno tries to make an example of him by making him explain who he is. That doesn't quite work. He leaves. He gets hit with Sam's mucus on the way out. Here's one of our, I assume, non-sentient holograms.
Yeah.
Shows up. And then another one, as he's trying to leave campus, he breaks. And he runs into Tarima, excuse me.
I know, really close names there. Again, come on, people.
Yeah.
All right, so first, let's just address it right away. I very much dislike that we don't have the Betazoids wearing the black contacts that they have worn in previous instances of Betazoids in Star Trek.
This is confusing and unnecessarily distracting to people who know.
But it could also be 1,000 years. Who knows? Like, things can change.
I mean, yes and no, because humans looked more or less the way they do now 1,000 years ago.
But think about the percentage of, like, redheads and how that changes because desirable traits and not and all that.
You're not wrong, but to the best of our knowledge, all Betazoids had black eyes before.
Well, maybe they were selecting for slightly grayer. I don't know.
I think it's really just that the actress has gorgeous eyes, honestly. And I mean, it's like talking about the stylistic choices of the Klingons in Discovery. And yeah, I wish things had been different, but you know what? It doesn't take away from the fact that, again, here's another wonderful young actor who hasn't done a ton beforehand and really does a nice job from scene one. I mean, I heard somebody else say that she literally has to tell him he's sitting on the fence. And that could have been such a bad line, but the way she does it makes it a great line. So yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna like. It doesn't ruin the show for me. It doesn't make me, oh, this isn't Star Trek. It's not canon. It's an alternate timeline. None of that. But I just wish they had black guys.
Well, I mean, my retcon is they're not pure blood Braidozoids. You know, Deanna Troi had the black eyes, but did her children with Will? I don't remember if they ever made a point.
And Castro doesn't have black eyes, and I don't think we could see close enough onto that Thad.
Yeah, so there you go.
No, I don't know.
Well,
and I don't have black eyes, so.
If you were reading my mind, it would be a whole other layer to this podcast. But that scene is adorable. Like, I know it's the meet cute. I know that this is obviously the romance they're setting up for the big one for this season. And that's okay, because both of them really show a lot about themselves in this first one. And but at the same time, you can tell that they're both very guarded. It was a fun meeting. It was interesting. It was shot beautifully. Like that's a really nice part of the set out there. And like I said, I loved both of the actors, and I have to talk about Tarima has those amazing heels that look like they're like hovering and they're kind of spring. I don't want to wear them, but they look amazing.
Yeah, I don't like those. They look like they'd break your ankle, but
well, okay, most high heels would break my ankles. Like I don't wear them because they're stupid. Yeah, but if you're gonna wear stupid shoes, you might as well wear cool looking stupid shoes.
Valid.
Yeah,
I mean, and they seem very Betazoid. Like the Betazoids, we've seen them have they might have naked weddings, but they have interesting accessories, big earrings, lots of jewelry, teeth gems, all that stuff. Yep. So, and I have to say the outfit she wears later, the one that looks kind of like a harem pants, it looks so much like the next generation of Deanna's outfit from Haven. Like if you go, like I loved that. So I'll take it. Like she felt like I think a futuristic, as if Deanna wasn't futuristic, this century Betazoid would look. I found it very compelling. All of the looks from all of them. I mean, and the asymmetrical kind of soft rounded hems and connections and like overlaps of all the jackets and sleeves. Very cool. Very cool. It wouldn't be me if I didn't bring up the costumes. So,
no, I love it. Oh, I hadn't even noticed asymmetry or.
Look close when they're all in like their formal white outfits. You can see like it's almost like a scallopy edge, but it goes all the way across the chest. It's very interesting, and all the like triple lines
I picked up on that.
of stitching and edging and hemming, and it's very cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, she's also got the serious mini skirt too. That's very Trek.
Yeah, well, there's Jean's vision.
Yeah, there you go. So we
and she has the bare midriff outfit later, which is also Jean's vision.
Yep.
She kind of reminds me of, and maybe it's just the way she's lit and her hair and everything, but she reminds me of Liv Tyler in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I can see that.
So,
yeah, similar face shape and that beautiful like wavy dark hair like that.
So her father is the president of Betazoid, Betazed. I keep using the term for the people of the planet.
And they are of the first house of Betazed, which means they rank a lot higher than Loxana Troi.
And they've got a whole bunch of
who was only a daughter of the fifth house.
They've got a whole bunch of like ancient sacred things that go with them too. And I loved the tooth gem detail. That's so cool.
I wonder if they have their own moldy python.
shoved in the back of a closet somewhere. 930 years later, it would be real moldy.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. I liked that immediately you're a little confused. I was a little confused by the fact that they're using sign language. He's deaf. We understand that he's deaf, but for a betazoid amongst
But aren't they telepathic?
betazoids, you wouldn't think they'd need it. And then, of course, we find out later that she's got the inhibitor on there, which is probably why they have to use the sign language, but at least with her.
I also think it's just another way for the show to show a different way of representation. Like we've been talking about how this is not 90s representation. This is modern, more positive interpretation and representation. And I really like that. Like that's really cool for the deaf community. Doctor Who did an episode that had a lot of the British Sign Language in it this past season, and that was really well received and really beautiful as well. And sign language looks good on screen. It's movement. It's so I think it's really interesting, and I like that at the end he speaks that one word, but at the same time he's also signing. Like that's just I am not deaf. I am not close to anyone who is, but I have a feeling that would feel even more powerful with them.
Yeah. I was also distracted at first because I thought it was Nathan Lane playing him. But
I can see that.
So that was the two people that I thought were not the people they were. Well, I didn't think that was Liv Tyler, but yeah. So Caleb gets dragged into the audience by the security and plunked in the front row. That didn't make sense to me at all, but sure, fine, whatever.
But then he does the zipper thing.
I like when he catches his neck in the zipper.
Well, because he's just being a jerk on purpose. Yeah. Petulant. He's being petulant. And it comes back and bites him as well it should. Those
literally
those
bites
little
him,
things have little natural consequences, but that's funny.
So we have some very particular requirements that the betazoids are presenting. They want to have a lot more control over who's on the Federation Council and all of that kind of stuff. Really, I read this as he's asking for more than he thinks he's going to get to give himself negotiating room. Just me, So that we have a break then, and Tarima asks that they get a tour of the school, led by Caleb.
And when she points him out, he's in the process of leaning over the pond to
which
drink
I don't
water.
understand.
I didn't
like that scene is weird because why would he be doing that? At no point.
I didn't read that as
anyway.
Drinking the water. I read that as like he's looking at something.
See, and I thought he was trying
balance.
to lean over and like get the mucus off of him by like rinsing the mucus off the front of him. Because he was trying to like do it flat, right? So I thought he was trying to rinse or whatever froze the mucus off of him. Yeah. Either way, he's looking awkward and weird, and like nobody would pick him if there wasn't a reason. But I like later on that she does tell him that the reason was because she could trust him to be honest, because they didn't quite fit. Like that all comes back around, and that's just really beautifully done. And it's set up here to come back around, and I like that.
So we then go to Caleb's got his clean uniform, and he's apparently in a position to negotiate.
Well, she needs him, and he knows it.
Yeah. I
think she's letting him feel like he's in charge.
Yes.
And that's very much a teacher tactic as well. Like, here, I'll let you have a little bit of something that I was always willing to let you have to begin with so that you can feel like you win and actually do this.
100%. Yeah.
So that's how I read that. But the fire fruit's an interesting little tidbit.
We like our apples in Trek, don't we? And we like, it's just, it keeps going back to that. I
don't like to lose.
But, I think it's interesting at the end because she tossed at the very end, and I know we're skipping ahead here, but we're talking about the apple, right? So, at the end, she throws him a fruit that looks either like an apple or a fire fruit, and he takes it, and he doesn't react the second time. So, did she show that he could trust her by giving him an apple at the end, an actual apple? and not
It
a
was an
fighter
apple,
fruit,
I
or
think.
was he
I
just
think you
expecting it this time so he was ready and didn't react?
No, it was
No,
an
I
apple.
assumed it was actually an
I
apple.
thought
that
about
time.
that it could have gone either way, and I thought too that it was the apple, but then I was like, oh, but wait,
Mhm.
maybe.
Yeah.
But I like it either way. It's a fun little call out that comes back around at the end.
Mm-hmm. So he takes her on the tour. Her brother disappears.
Yeah.
Even though he was supposed to be on the tour, but whatever. Okay.
I thought he went to the war
Um,
college on the day that she went to Starfleet, and then they flip flopped.
Oh, maybe that's okay. That makes sense.
Because the
All
next day, then she was at the workout. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think you're right. They go to stellar cartography amidst all of the other and the Gideon Turner wing, which just okay.
Maybe we'll
Making up
find out
all
about
sorts of
Mr. Turner
interesting
later
stuff.
on.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because I was like, I don't remember Gideon Turner anywhere.
Nobody does.
I don't
No,
trust
no
my
one.
brain.
As
So,
far as we can tell, it's a brand new thing. They just did it
Yeah.
to make the jokes. Do it for Turner.
okay, excellent. All right. So they have that, and then they're in the James Kirk Pavilion, where there's a proper espresso shop, which apparently is made exactly the same way.
What I find interesting is
Dang.
that the cups are replicated, but the coffee isn't.
Well, that just shows you it's good coffee.
Oh, there we
Mhm.
go.
Or maybe they replicate the grounds, and they just do it the old-fashioned way for some reason. I don't know. But yes, I noticed that too. And then we have the obligatory let's walk through the quad. Oh, we see our Brickar student.
Yes, that
I
made
love
me
that.
so deeply happy. And like,
Mhm.
go listen to Aaron Walkie talk about it or type about it because
Mhm.
like the love that Prodigy is getting from the show that is still on Paramount Plus gives me hope that we are not done
Mhm.
with Prodigy. It might be many, many, many years in the future, but I am very much
Yep.
hoping there is still more of those stories to come.
Oh yeah.
Yep, we see quite a few alien callbacks throughout this episode. Both last week and this week we have someone from Sharon with
Yep.
the half black, half white,
Yep.
which has caused a bit of a kerfuffle in the fandom. But we would point out that in the episode "Let That Be Their Last Battlefield," Beale mentions that he's been chasing Lokai for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Which means that they have had space travel for thousands of years before they're... So the idea that there are other people from Sharon out in the universe is... that weren't on the planet
Perfectly reasonable.
when the war happened is entirely reasonable.
Mhm.
So I just think it's a cool little thing. And the other cool species that I thought was neat is we see one of the feeders of Vol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
One of the
missed
War
that.
College cadets is a
Cool.
feeder of Vol.
There's
I
a
thought was cool.
Kelpian in there too.
Yes,
And
there
the
is also a
modern
Kelpian.
Ferengi makeup or the
Yep.
Discovery type
Yeah,
Ferengi
we've seen
makeup.
a few,
I mean, there's a
few
lot.
Ferengi over the years, but yes. I mean,
There was a
modern...
panel that said there's a Cardassian cadets to all go to this like club or whatever. So I don't know if I just haven't noticed them or we haven't seen them yet. But
yeah, there was
Yeah.
that. We did see that text, but I have not seen anyone who looks like a Cardassian yet.
No.
So
No,
that'll be interesting. But
yeah.
I especially
So-
like the deep cuts, like the feeders of Vol.
mhm.
Yeah, I mean that is a really. There's a lot of Orions too.
I guess they did start banging after Kirk freed them from their
Well,
computer
I mean,
overlord.
one would hope. Yeah, so they tour the campus. They make a connection over the fact that they both feel like outsiders. And then he goes and they talk about why she was out on the beach and she wanted to see the whales.
Mhm.
And so he takes her to go see the whales. And then he gets in trouble for it.
Well, and they find Goja 5.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, God,
Let's
I
not
jumped
forget
over
that
it.
in there because we've heard that many times. Goja 5, Goja 5, Goja 5.
Right. I went right over my note there. Yeah. So she opens up the Betazoid database for him.
And I like that
That's
the
interesting.
explanation of that, of why it wouldn't be in the star charts of it must have formed post burn. Boom, done,
Yeah.
over, life goes on.
Yep.
Love that. Love that this show
Yeah.
knows enough to know what people are going to say and throws in a bunch of that stuff. They didn't do it every
Mhm.
time, but a lot of times things like that. Perfect. People who know Star
Yeah,
Trek
and
made this Star Trek.
that's the thing. It doesn't have to be that the planet didn't exist, just the community.
Exactly.
Now the interesting thing is that if it's behind the psionic wall, how did Caleb's mother get there?
And I'm sure we'll find out. Yeah.
Well, if the Venari Rawl are giving them trouble, somebody must have gotten through at some point, and we know she knows them.
Well, I thought that's why they created the wall in the first place, because the Venari Rawl were giving them trouble.
Yeah, it is, but that doesn't mean that there aren't ways
maybe
through
she
it.
got captured doing something with them, and they put her in prison behind the wall because of what she did, and I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot to wonder about with Anisha Mir, because they brought in here too, like Captain Ake was saying, she was studying physics all the time when she was in there.
Yeah.
So that's going to become important, I think. She's not just sitting around pining away for her son. She's smart. She's doing the science. She has some sort of value to Braca because of her, not just because she would help him out of. Anyways, I think there's a lot more coming here. I think we're going to find a lot of those answers coming up.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, there's trouble because he took her down to see the whales. This doesn't make sense to me, because if they know, if the doctor can sense what the, heartbeats of the cadets are all doing, come down and break up a fight, how do they not know that they're down in?
And also, why is it really a problem that he's showing her things? Like, they isn't like the whole point of this that they're supposed to like be, learning about each other and whatnot?
Yeah.
I think we were supposed to assume it was past curfew, and she was supposed to go back to her dad right after, and she didn't. So then they not sure. And then when they walked in on them, it was an almost compromising position. And so like he just went into dad mode, and But it's nebulous. I mean, come on. Humpback whales. It's a tour. They're cool.
Yeah.
CGI there is not the best, but humpback whales themselves are cool.
Good to know they're still around.
Exactly.
So then we go to a reception where we get to see the doctor doing some opera, which is fun.
That is fun. I mean, that's a beautiful piece, and they perform it well, and it feels completely like that is a place where he would get to do something like that.
Absolutely,
and the person who he's doing it with, who is simply listed as Diva, as the name.
Yes,
the character is simply listed as Diva. Actually played by an actual singer.
That's cool.
Whose name escapes me off the top of my head. But they are the makeup they're wearing is the same makeup as the character from Star Trek Beyond.
From Beyond, it's gorgeous makeup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gorgeous makeup. I'm so glad they brought that back out.
It's the Oscar-nominated makeup from Star Trek Beyond.
So it deserves a second viewing and a lot of good close-ups.
So they continue talking about, what Beta Zed's place would be. He's not happy with what they have to say, and he calls off the rest of the negotiations. Tarima and Caleb meet up, and she explains the neuroinhibitor is because she feels things too deeply, which I think we'll get more explanation on.
Tam Elbrum from Tin Man and TNG. That's all I could think, and I'm like, that's cool.
Who also had black eyes. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes, he did. But yeah, so then he talks about how he feels suffocated by rules, and she jumps to the conclusion that the only reason he wanted to talk to her was to get the information about Goja 5, which I didn't think made sense because he would have had no way of knowing that she would have that information.
Right.
But
I think it's
out
just
of place to me.
They're just starting to get to know each other. They're feeling each other out. That wasn't really what she was mad about. She was mad that he didn't share stuff and she couldn't say it. And they're having a stupid beginning of relationship fight that you didn't expect because something popped up out of nowhere. And then you're just like, hey, hello, we're just starting this. And that's what I took it as. We've all been there where we're like, why are we fighting? I don't even know how we got here. And I feel like that's kind of what it was, but that's very much that age and that stage of relationship type of interaction. So it felt out of nowhere, but I think it was supposed to.
Okay.
At least that's how I interpreted it.
No, that makes sense to me. So then, everything's going to be stopped and the Betazoids are going to go home, and that's the end of that. And as the Admiral says, they just came here to say no.
Yeah.
But Caleb convinces Terima to convince her father to stay.
And that's a sweet speech. That that's a moment that I really felt the connection between them. And if somebody had come up to me and been as earnest as he was right then, it probably would have swayed me too. Like it was, and it was nice that he was talking about it, and again, he was taking ownership of his actions and his mistakes and his choices, which I think is really important. This show is doing that again. Like these people are going to screw up, the adults and the kids. They take ownership, they take responsibility, they apologize, and they say what they wish they had done differently. And that's how you solve problems, like grown-ups.
And then and then the really cool thing here is that then when they agree to stay and continue talking, they now say, oh well, if Beta Z joins the Federation, we'll actually build our new capital on Beta Z, and that's just
that was perfect. That was perfect. And I love how they're reaching out towards each other in that way. And I mean, what a big concession, right? Because there has never been headquarters anywhere outside of Paris. It's always been in Paris, Paris and San Francisco. So that's a big give. And like I said, when he speaks that one final yes, it means a lot.
That actually does, it kind of kills two birds with one stone, as it were, because having the headquarters there means that they will have the protection that he asked for. It covers a lot of the other issues that he's concerned about. And so I like how they do that all together.
It's smart. And you want the smart people being in charge. So hooray.
So we have our negotiations be successful. And then Ake finds out, tells Caleb about how she found out that Anisha was on Goja 5, but left a month prior or whatever it was.
And that kind of guts him because, like, she didn't reach out. So either she's captured again and somewhere else, or she didn't make it very far alive, or she's choosing not to reach out. And all of those are tough options. But it still ends. This episode ends on a positive note, both that scene and the whole episode. So I really enjoy that. Let's take this little downer moment, but let's end. Both of these episodes have ended up, and that's nice. Like, you don't always want that, but in this type of show, at this point in a season, you want that, and I really like how they did it.
So then we end with
the best scene.
Akam Sandal.
I like him. He's such a good brother.
He is. He's just sweet. He's joined Caleb.
He's like, and I don't talk about my sister with her.
Well, and he's obviously like wants to be a tough guy, bro, like the other two guys in that room, but he is so not. And like it's just so sweet, and he's so earnest, and like he doesn't know how to get along with people that aren't Betazoids either. He's been living behind a psionic wall. So it's just I like him for not being a major player. He is a fun supporting character. Somebody on Blue Sky said he's like the Rom of this show. Like, and I'm like, well, we'll see how we go. But at this point, it does seem like similar, and I would not be sad about that.
No, that works. So Akam Sandal is at Starfleet Academy, and Terima Sandal is at the War College, which I'm hoping is going to get further explanation as we go.
Well, and I've heard people go, oh my God, she's running away from Caleb. And I took it, right, and I didn't take that at all. I took it as, oh my God, she's running to a place that's away from her family, but she knows she still needs a place that's going to be regimented and controlled because of all of her special abilities and that inhibitor. She said she had to live by rules and stuff, or she could hurt people. So like, that's exactly, I never took it as, this is not about a boy. This is about what's going to get her away from Beta Z for a little while and somewhere she knows she can be okay.
Yeah, gives her structure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think part of it also is her brother is at Starfleet Academy, so she's gonna. It may even be that that their father said they should go to both of them to get an idea, so that they can get an idea what
That's true.
What they both are.
That's true. Either way, it's a great ending. And again, for the second time, I am left wanting more of these characters, more time in this school, more of these stories, more looks into the day-to-day, more crumbs for Caleb's mom's mystery. Like, I want more. And that's exactly
Well, good thing there's 8 more episodes then.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that this came out of the gate like this, and that I am solidly able to say, I like this, I want more of this, and that seems to be the general consensus. That is a breath of fresh air in this fandom, and a breath of fresh air in the world right now.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah. Well, anything else we want to discuss with this episode? This one did not quite have as intensely much going on as the previous ones.
Well, it's also shorter by a good 15 minutes, so,
That it is.
But how fun to get more than 2 hours of new Star Trek in one day, and it wasn't Section 31.
Always that caveat now.
Always.
Well, Abby, thank you so much for joining us for a discussion today. Where can listeners find you online, and what work would you like to mention?
Well, thank you guys again for having me on. These are always wonderful, long marathon chats with friends, and I leave smiling and feeling better about everything. So thank you for making me a part of these 2 episodes. I really appreciate it. And if you want to find me and listen to me talk Trek more, I am on Blue Sky mostly, but other places, if you find me, I'll try to find you at Abby M. Sommer. That's Sommer. And I co-host a podcast called First Flight with my wonderful co-host, Chris. And we are an Enterprise Rewatch podcast. We're about a third of the way into season 4. So good stuff there. And we also drop little monthly bonuses about all sorts of other stuff and our thoughts on new things that are popping up. So you want to hear me talk Trek? That's the way to do it. First Flight Pod on all the socials.
All right. Thad, where can people find you when you're not literally sitting on the fence?
If you can go to tyrannicus.net, that's TYRANICUS, where I have a list of all of my public socials and things that I'm involved in, and you can listen to me on License to Spiel. That's the podcast I do with my friend Carl, where we started talking about James Bond movies and through a roundabout way are now covering every episode of Columbo. Chrissie, where can people find you when you're not covered in mucus?
Oh,
because they probably don't want to find you when you are.
No, but allergy season's coming up, and yeah, it happens. So, right, in addition to here on Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagyi, which is back here on the BQN, that twice-weekly short history podcast I do with my fellow historian partner, Jason. I have also started a new Substack with short essays about history called Food, Sex, and Power. So please, you can subscribe there. You can subscribe and pay me if you'd like. That would I would not object to that, but please subscribe whether or not you can do that. Substack doesn't let you do less than $5. It's kind of maddening.
I noticed that because I probably would have done $1 if that was an option,
or even $3.
Yeah,
it feels
I would, but
psychologically so much less.
Mm-hmm. But they don't let you do less than 5. But anyway,
well, honestly, it's probably because payment processing. If you do $1, they
lose.
They basically get nothing.
Yeah, that's a point. Okay, well, I'm also happy to chat about our shows on the BQN Collective on Facebook and in the Discord, and I'm on the various socials at The Goddess Livia. That's TheGoddessLivia.
Don't forget all our other great shows on BQN Podcasts. Here's a recording of Amy to tell you all about them.
What's happening on BQN, you ask? We're not just a network. We're a universe of exploration, entertainment, and deep dives into the topics you love. Here's your star map to the sonic adventures awaiting you. Let's chart the Star Trek cosmos with all good things. Embark on a comprehensive journey through the entire Star Trek universe with the insightful crew of Amy, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. From classic to current, they cover it all. Galaxy class, engage! Stephen and Stefan pilots this Alpha Quadrant mission, meticulously covering all aspects of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Infinite diversity. Stay current with the newest Star Trek frontiers alongside Chrissie and Thad. Union Federation. Whether your allegiance lies with Starfleet or the Planetary Union, Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley offer a unified front, discussing both current Star Trek and the truly Trek at heart, the Orville. Crack open that book with Peter and the Trek Book Club podcast. Delve into a rich tapestry of Star Trek's beta canon. What's the tea, Bev? Christo spills the latest Trek news and fandom insights with an essential LGBTQIA+ perspective, complete with engaging guest interviews. Our visual voyages that you can find on YouTube as well as podcasts are Trek Masters. Think you're a Starfleet Academy graduate? Test your knowledge with Davey and MC's challenging Star Trek quiz show. And the View Screen. Tune in live on Sundays for your dose of a Trek-inspired talk show. Kelvin and Amy host new 8-week seasons each spring and fall. But beyond the final frontier, we have Bargain Bin Gamer. Davey and Mitch, your self-proclaimed gamer guides, lead you to digital treasures, unearthing and reviewing the most affordable video game gems. Cinema Z. Grab your metaphorical popcorn for Mark and Matt's cinematic deep dives, unearthing overlooked films that demand your attention. History with the Zalogis. In order to never repeat it, tune in as Chrissie and Jason deliver bite-sized snippets of historical events from around the globe and transformational journeys. Host Lex Rosa explores what it means to embrace authenticity in the face of societal expectations. You can unlock deeper levels of engagement with our exclusive patron perks. The Hive Mind is where you can join our random script readings, live reaction shows, and roundtable discussions. You can also now watch All Good Things as an extended video edit and get a background look into the creation of a podcast. Also, check out our back catalog of It's Green and Amy's Math Moments. Stay connected to our ever-expanding galaxy of content by following BQN Podcasts on Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Discord. We appreciate you choosing BQN to fill your auditory needs. Thank you for listening. Assimilate the audio.
And thank you so much for tuning into Infinite Diversity and all of our infinite goofiness. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Mark White for the awesome show art. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
Joke's on you. I'm just subscribing in my least favorite podcast player.
All right, well, you know.
If you want to reach out, you can find the network on the socials at BQN Podcasts, or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk to any and all of the BQN podcasts in our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, and join our Discord server. When you next hear from us, we'll be talking about the 3rd episode of Starfleet Academy, Vitus Reflux. Until then, peace and long life.
Yeah. I want to make a Will Riker joke here, but I can't think of it.
School near me,
Yeah.
Messiah College, where several people I went to school with went there because it's a nearby school, and they have a rule that their students at any age, their students cannot be in the presence of alcohol the entire time that they are at the school, or they could be expelled. Not that they can't, can't drink it, but they cannot be at some in the presence of other people drinking it the entire time that they are.
What if
Well, I hope
someone
none
in
of
their
their
family
parents are
gets
drunks.
married? Yeah.
Right. Like, and what if they go to Applebee's? I mean,
Yeah. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
or the Olive Garden
Or the
anywhere.
grocery store.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's okay in the grocery store if no one's drinking it. But
They
Oh,
have
wow.
those people who give samples at the grocery store
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's
what
true.
grocery stores are you go? I want to go to the grocery store that gives samples of alcohol.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Where you live, do you have to go to a separate store for alcohol, or is it in the grocery store?
It's in the grocery store.
So
It is in
where I
Michigan, too.
live,
But not in Wyoming.
you can get beer and wine in some grocery stores, but it's through a legal loophole, and it's a separate register that's not. Yeah.
That's why you don't have the tastings. Yep.
I live in Wisconsin. We like alcohol and cheese around here.
Mhm.
I mean, you have
the
hot
only
and
way to
cold
stay
running
warm.
beer.
Ew.
Yeah,
Hot beer.
yeah. I don't think I'd want to turn on the hot beer tap.
No. No.
Okay.
The hot cheese tap, on the other
Yeah,
hand,
that's
it's like
the
a
other side of
fondue
it.
pot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
I'll
I'm also
take
fine
fondue
with cold
anytime.
cheese.
Yeah, I'm just cheese.
I'm fine with
in
cheese
general.
in
Yeah.
any form, really.
Pretty much. There are very
There's
few
an-
cheeses I dislike.
Another comedian I have to send you, Abby. I'll
Mhm.
send both of you, but Abby, he's a Wisconsin Midwestern comedian. It's wonderful. Anyway, so
Is
yeah. So
it
speaking
Charlie from up north?
of
'Cause I know
Charlie
Charlie-
Barons, yeah, you
Yeah,
know about
Charlie
Barons.
Barons, yeah, I know Charlie.
Awesome. Okay,
I love Charlie.
he's wonderful.
I don't know Charlie.
I will send it in the chat, and you will enjoy him.
Excellent.
Midwest humor.
And
It's
he's
funny.
got such good politics too. It's just wonderful.
Yes.
And I just noticed that I have the wrong episode in there for the very end, but I don't know what the third episode's title is without looking it up. So,
the next
sorry.
episode is Vitus Reflux.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's something in Latin, which is gonna make it really hard for me to remember these ones.
And the one after that is also in Latin.
I know. Like some of these titles, great. Some of them, Latin. Come on now.
We gotta have our Latin.
Well, I don't
Vox
dislike.
and Excelsior is
Okay,
Ah,
that one is easier, but yeah.
I mean, none of them are as
okay.
bad as Civis Pacem
Oh,
Parabellum.
you're absolutely 100%
Yes.
correct. None of them are as bad
Or
as that.
Inter Arma Coelum
Yes.
Legis.
Yep.
Inter Arma Anum Silent Legis.
Yes. See,
Yeah, exactly.
this is why we're friends, because you two pulled those up. Just saying.